specifically saved something for you all. A better explanation on everything that happened. So we can view it together. Can look at the 2.4 timeline. Recap time. So, Cristoforo's ability, the Sonosphere, has to come from a story source. Now, this is the events of the past. Long ago, Mia came to Sapibon to participate in the Great Archon. But when she won, she found out the truth. That she is the puppet for the Tredodian's plan. So she shanked herself with a knife and jumped back into the sea. After that, the interlude. This is the point where Mr. Crystal Bitch retrieved Mia's dead corpse with the help of Julia and the Sylvia family. And they begin to do the Dogo experiments. After Wilbur, succeeded from freeing Katatian from the tower, to trigger the essence within Mia reawakened. And with that, Cristoforo made the plan of creating a Sonosphere to nurture the Tredodian to regain his power. So this exactly happened. The moment when we cut the main body of the Tredodian that was inside Miss Cartwheel. So after many loops, it began to grow in power, and I guess after a month or two, it grew in power, and then the events start to happen. Now the present timeline. So Julia managed to win. So Lupa win, even though Julia do the match fixing. But this is the point where after winning, because she is also a failed vessel for the Tredodian, she gets hypnotized at the end of the championship, making her to destroy the central hub. Lupa will be in a trance-like state, not knowing what she's doing, and then she'll die to the dark tide in there. And because the Tredodian literally gets power from people's suffering, so in that Sonosphere, the people's feelings and suffering happen again, and this keeps repeating. With each loop, the Tredodian gains more and more power. So, Miss Cartwheel, after the Tredodian gets a lot more power, and Miss Cartwheel come in and tries to break the Sonosphere. She really meets the wandering Lupa who is trying to regain her name in the Sonosphere. The reason why she keeps losing herself and her identity is because Mr. Cristoforo, that bitch, they swap her and Mia's identity so that she'll be more easily controllable in the Sonosphere. And in that case, she loses her sense of self. So when Lupa fully gets absorbed and loses her role in the story, she would go back to the loop. But something changed, something different happened in this loop, because Miss Cartwheel give her resonance essence to Lupa, allowing Lupa to break free from the cycle and this time meet Rover. This is the point of the story where we come into Sapimon. Miss Cartwheel will then proceed on to go to the center of the data field where she will find Mia, and then she will face her off, which is why you get to see Mia getting overlapped by Lupa, because at this point, Lupa loses her identity and is taken over by Mia. But the original Lupa now go to new timeline. Now, from here on, this is where we do everything. The gladiator tournament, all the way into the finals. Then we talk to Lupa. Lupa give her a drink. Lupa sniff us. All of this happened. She sniff us. We sniff her. We stirred her the booty. We win the grand champion, which is over here exactly. Now, this is where the two timelines interconject, which is precisely why we actually got teleported to fight against 100 Tacit Discord, as she also fight her own big bad boss. Moving forward, Lupa over here, that's when we ended this part here. We ended the tournament. And then we do the Grand Prestige. We fucked around to do more of the duels of Pixel Prestige. But then after that, we come back here and we get to the Central Hub. So, at this point, there's a lot of things happening, whereby Miss Cartwheel proceeds to fuck up their entire plan. But this is where she also meet Cristoforo and remove his control over this giant Sonosphere. So please take note, in this present, the Sonosphere is where the possible realities are occurring. So, well, it is known that this guy, this Cristoforo bitch, has a lot of power over the Sonosphere. It has its limitation, although very powerful. So, because we got the book from Provova to see the script of Cristoforo, we can now give Lupa a fighting chance. So by allowing Lupa to regain herself as the protagonist of her own story, we get the script to Lupa, and that's how she breaks out of the Sonosphere reality loop and find the original timeline. And that's how she also regained back her memory one shot from all her previous routes, which actually it is very traumatizing if you remember how Subaru experienced all his deaths at once. So this girl actually experienced all her deaths at once, but she still just shucks it aside and be like, I need to do better for my partner, for my eyeball. She shucks it up and decides to fight the Chedodian. Having a typical MC main protagonist moment and awakening, she discovers what it truly means to live and die and what it means to be a gladiator. And now, Cristoforo can no longer have enforced his control over the Sonosphere loops and rewrite reality because he is getting bamboozled and bulldozed over by Miss Cartwheel and Excalibur. He had to call Scar to help him save his ass and get him out of there so he can do one last hour farming. But we all know what's going to happen. At this point, we also meet Chedodian Mia, who is really infused with the Leviathan because this Cristoforing bitch has experimented on her like a typical father who want to experiment his daughter and a dog, and actually succeeded. Very, very unsightly, very disgusting. But at the end of the day, Lupa confronted Mia, who is like losing herself to the Chedodian, and gave her a very final gladiator-style battle finish, which allowed Mia to pass on. So that's the final route. And then we can... With all that happened, you're probably wondering, oh my god, what happened? Which of these become reality? The Sonosphere has currently overlapped with reality. The thing that become closest to reality is currently this path. The one with Rover and Lupa fighting to become Grand Champion, and then this path, the final route. So this final route is now the reality. And then as we snap back to reality, we can now see everyone come back together as this new reality is written with Lupa and Rover winning the Great Argon, which is basically the best ending. But then something shitty happens. Rover retrieves the jewel from Mia's helmet just before the Sonosphere collapsed. So as that particular the reality and dimension collapse, Rover comes in and steals the essence of what is the Chedodian lingering in Mia's helmet, potentially setting the new arc. Upcoming future. So here is to hoping that Pavlova would actually do some good with it, because clearly she hates the guts of Scar and Mr. Cristoforo, son of a bitch. As you can see, Mr. Cristoforo in the previous cutscene, as he was having a hate boner, a tragic boner, she was like, okay, old man, can you like just stop yapping and tell me what the fuck you wanna do? Stop having a boner over people's tragedies. And so clearly, maybe she has her own way of doing things in the fact that is, and would just wants a particular goal. Maybe that's why she wants to grab the essence to do something from Mr. Tragedy Boner here, and mentally crazy who should be in an asylum Scar. So hopefully when we get to play as her, she will have a more redeemable story, or more relatable story. Relatable story as in, all of my colleagues are dumb asses, please help me kind of thing going. And that's something I can relate to quite a bit. And that is the summary of 2.3 and 2.4. A little plot analysis and summary of what happened to fill in the gaps for you. Hope that helps. Huh? Ta-da! Hello, Yui here. Thank you for enjoying my stuffies. If this video has brightened up your day or put a smile on your face, do consider to do the logarithm stuffies. That means liking, subscribing, and commenting in this YouTube video. If you wish to show me more love, do check out my Patreon. Every single support in there goes to making more content in this channel and and paying my editor, Zaki, who's definitely not living in my basement. In turn, you'll get early previews, behind the scenes stuffies, but most importantly, cosplay culture, which I know a lot of you are into. I also stream Mondays to Thursdays in Twitch, 11 PM EDT, so come over and check me out sometime.